Hello and welcome to this week's video email. Do we value music for what it does or for what it is? As you know, I do like delving into a bit of high quality music education research every now and then, and this week I've done just that. A recent piece of research suggested there is a bias toward the functional uses of music for extrinsic purposes, such as a vehicle to scaffold other learning, rather than for any intrinsic value. And that made me stop and think, because this is exactly something I often feel conflicted about in my own work. When I describe Diversitybuds songs, I know they support all sorts of things: language development, confidence, emotional regulation, empathy, belonging, coordination and listening. And if I'm completely honest, it's often much easier to talk about the songs in those ways, because those outcomes are understandable, measurable and easy to justify, particularly when describing them to non-musicians. But underneath that, I also know the songs hold intrinsic value for the children participating in them, simply because of the musical experiences they provide. The invitation to join in and be part of something, the regular shared pulse that helps regulate both internal and external behaviours within the group, the repetition of lyrics, rhythms, melody fragments and structures, all of which provide predictable responses and the sense of safety that comes from increasing familiarity. The possibility to creatively extend and explore these musical experiences further through personal motivation and interest. And I think that's where the tension sits for me. In music education, people sometimes talk about the intrinsic and extrinsic value of music. Extrinsic value is what music helps us achieve elsewhere, the observable outcomes. Intrinsic value is the idea that music matters in and of itself. With young children especially, the two are almost impossible to separate cleanly, and yet the expectation is often that we do just that. A simple singing game might support language development and social connection, while also bringing joy, expression, creativity, and a sense of belonging, all at the same time. But I do sometimes wonder whether, in promoting music as a vehicle for increasing DEI awareness, that I risk unintentionally reducing its value to something functional. Perhaps I use those arguments partly to draw in non-musicians, because outcomes can feel easier to explain and justify. And perhaps I assume musicians already understand the deeper intrinsic value underneath it all. But maybe that isn't something that should always go unsaid, because children themselves don't experience music as simply one thing or the other. These aspects are deeply intertwined. Young children sing because it feels good, because rhythm is exciting, because music connects them to others, because it gives them a way to express themselves before they have all the words. The intrinsic is the felt alchemy, the extrinsic is the observable outcome. Perhaps that is where the conflict lies, particularly in a world that so often asks learning to justify itself through outcomes and data. Maybe some musical moments are valuable precisely because they allow children to experience joy, connection, cultural belonging, expression, equal participation, not simply as byproducts of learning, but as meaningful human experiences in themselves. Invisible musical magic that is felt within, without the need to be weighed, packaged and stamped. Wishing you a week of musical moments that are valued not only for what they produce, but for what they are. Many thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.